Okay, we're going to read the next chapter of The Case of the Fire Alarm. But first, let's review. Yesterday we read chapter 8, and that was called Missing. And remember, Mom got Jillian to tell her why she was in the art room and why she didn't want to say anything about it because she and her friend made a present for their teacher and wanted it to be a surprise. And then remember, Mrs. Argus ran into the office and said that Zach was missing. And then Mom and Mrs. Argus were looking in the bathrooms, but then Buddy had them go downstairs, and then they heard pounding in one of the lockers, and a voice said, "Let me out, let me out." Okay, so chapter 9 is called What Happened to Zach. "Good boy, Buddy," Mom says, patting my side. Mrs. Argus bends down in front of the closet. "Zach," she says to the closed door, "is that you?" "Yes," a small voice replies. I scratch at the door, but it doesn't open. Mom goes into the gym and picks up a phone on the wall. "Would you send Mr. Poe to the storage closets outside the gym, please?" she says into the phone. "Tell him to bring his keys." We wait a little while, and then I see the man who smells like cleaning stuff lumber down the stairs. It's the same man who wouldn't let anyone back inside the school when the fire alarm went off. "What's going on?" the man asks Mom and Mrs. Argus. This must be Mr. Poe. "One of my first graders is locked inside this closet," Mrs. Argus says, wringing her hands together. Mr. Poe frowns at the closet. "How did that happen?" he asks. "Well, there's a lock on the outside of the closet, so I don't think Zach locked himself in there. Someone else must have locked him in." "But who would do such a thing, and why?" "Whoever it was, I bet it was a human and not a ghost." Mr. Poe pulls a large key ring out of his pocket. He sorts through the keys and then sticks one inside the lock on the closet. The door swings open, and there, stuffed inside the closet with jump ropes and orange cones and dirty balls, is Zach. "Oh my," Mrs. Argus says as she helps Zach out of the closet and closes the door. Zach's cheeks are red and his hair is damp. Water dribbles down his cheeks. He's crying. "How did you end up inside the storage closet, Zach?" Mom asked in a soft voice. Zach sniffs. He doesn't answer. "Thank you for unlocking the closet," Mom says to Mr. Poe. Then she turns to Zach and Mrs. Argus. "I know you have to get back to your class, Mrs. Argus, but Zach, I'd like you to come to my office. We'll get you cleaned up and get you a drink of water. Then maybe we can talk about what happened." Zach swallows hard. I don't think he wants to talk about what happened. "I'm glad we found you, Zach," Mrs. Argus says, patting his back. "I was worried about you." She glances at me, and I think she might even pet me, or at least tell me I'm a good dog. But she just turns and walks away. Oh well. Mr. Poe closes the closet. Mom and Zach and Mrs. Argus all head back upstairs. I sniff around the outside of the closet. Besides Zach's scent, I smell bananas, sweat socks, pencils, dirt, hamburger. Wait a minute. I think the banana, sweat socks, and dirt scent belong to one person, and the hamburger, pencils, and dirt scent belong to a different person. I've smelled these people before. Where? Come on, Buddy," Mom calls from the other end of the hallway. "I'm coming," I say, hurrying to catch up with Mom and Zach. It's just us in Mom's office, Mom and Zach and me. Mom sits beside Zach rather than at her desk. "Who locked you in the closet, Zach?" she asks softly. Zach just stares at his feet. "Are you afraid to tell me?" Mom asks. Again, no answer. "Yes," I tell Mom with my eyes. "He's very afraid. I can smell fear all over him. In fact, that's why I'm talking to Mom with my eyes instead of my mouth. This boy is so scared that I'm afraid to talk with my mouth." I go over to him and lick his hand. "What are you so afraid of? You can tell Mom who locked you in that closet. Is someone at school giving you a hard time?" Mom asks. Zach still doesn't answer, but I watch the way his mouth twitches. I think the answer is yes, I tell Mom. "Are you afraid that if you tell me who's giving you a hard time, things will only get worse?" Mom asks. Zach's bottom lip twitches again. That's another yes, I tell Mom. Mom sighs. "I can't help you if you won't talk to me, honey," she says. "He may not be talking with his mouth, but he's still talking, and I'm trying to translate for Mom. She's just not getting the message." What else could I do to help? I could go into all the classrooms and sniff around. Eventually, I'd find the kid who smells like bananas, sweat socks, and dirt, and the kid who smells like hamburgers, pencils, and dirt. But I'm not supposed to wander around the school. I'm supposed to stay in Mom's office. Can I figure out who locked Zach in the closet without leaving Mom's office? I don't know. I wish I could remember where I've smelled those scents before. I think and I think and I think, but it's not coming to me. Maybe it would help to make a list of things I know and a list of things I don't know about the case of the kid in the closet. Here's what I know. Zach left his classroom to go to the bathroom. Someone has been giving Zach a hard time. Somebody, more than one somebody, locked him in the storage closet. Zach knows who did it. Zach is afraid to tell who did it. Zach is afraid of whoever locked him in the closet will do something even worse if he tells. Here's what I don't know. Who's been giving Zach a hard time? Who locked Zach in the closet? Here's my plan. Question mark. He doesn't have a plan. I lie down and think about this. Zach won't talk because he's scared. He was awfully scared when he was talking to Mom about the fire drill too. Why? Maybe he saw who pulled the fire alarm? Maybe the person who pulled the alarm knows that Zach saw him and is afraid Zach is going to tell, so he locked Zach in the storage closet to warn him to keep quiet. I hop up and nudge Zach's arm to get his attention. Did you see who pulled the fire alarm? I ask. Was it Michael? He doesn't answer. Mom, I say, ask Zach if he saw who pulled the fire alarm. I think the person who pulled the fire alarm is the same person who locked Zach in the storage closet. Buddy, do you have to go outside? Mom asks. No, I say. Why do humans always think we have to go outside? I can take him outside, Mrs. K says. I can take him outside, Mrs. K says a kid I don't know. He's about Zach's age, and he's sort of bouncing around in Mom's doorway. He's like a little human pogo stick, jumping, jumping, jumping. I'll take Buddy outside, Ellie says from the other office. Why don't you sit down, Tristan? Mrs. Keene isn't ready to talk to you yet. But instead of sitting down, Tristan leaps up and slaps the top of the door jamb. Wow, that kid can jump high. Sit down, Tristan, Ellie says, leading him to a bench beside her desk. Save your jumping for the playground. I don't think Buddy needs to go outside, Mom says. She reaches over and closes the door. She probably said that because she wanted Ellie to stay in the office and keep an eye on that human jumping bean. Hey, wait a minute. Human jumping bean? That gives me a whole new idea about who might have pulled the fire alarm and who locked Zach in the storage closet. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, tomorrow the next chapter. And it's called Who Pulled the Fire Alarm? See you tomorrow.